Live fields are the best. Uh, my name's David. I'm a sommelier with Quartermaster Sommeliers. Worked in restaurant business for 20 years in New York and Los Angeles. Had a great time. Decided I didn't want to work in restaurants anymore. And now I just do wine tastings with people all over Nashville, which is great, especially when I get to share wine with people like y'all. So I'm so excited to do a little wine swap. And for everybody out there, wine swaps are a great way to share wine with people. Give somebody a bottle you like, get a bottle that they like back, drink them, share your comments. Right now with COVID, it's a little more difficult to share wine, so it's a great way to get together and cheers. So we love that. Um, the bottle that I chose for Christmas is one of my favorite areas in the world, and this is Chignon. And Chignon is an area in Turin in the Loire Valley of France, and I guess that would be Western France, and they make Cabernet Franc there. And this Cabernet Franc is delicious in my opinion. Really easy drinking, has great like green pepper and red berries and a little earthy and maybe a little funky, but not super funky, but just enough funk to keep you happy. This is from M. Puzo. It's available all over Nashville. I think I got this one at Midtown Cork Dorks, but I've seen it at Red, I've seen it at Wine Chap. It's like a fun label. It says Vive Chignon on there. And if you've never had a wine from the Loire, Cabernet Franc is really what grows fantastic here. Cabernet Franc is the parent of Cabernet Sauvignon. Cabernet Sauvignon came from Cabernet Franc and Sauvignon Blanc coming together to make Cabernet Sauvignon. So if you like that, you may enjoy this wine as well. So cheers, have a sip, y'all, and tell me what you think.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah, we were talking about this earlier with you. We love the earthiness of it.
Yeah, the earthy. The pepper.
Yep.
On the nose, and then the
cherry, a little bit of spice and the acidity at the back end of it. This is such an easy sipping wine. Love the smell. It's actually a really, really, really beautiful smell.
It does have a great aroma to it.
And we tried this earlier, but trying it again, you were saying like it's just kind of a little different, and I would agree. It's just different. It's a kind of a new experience, and I don't know. I think this would be one that would like surprise people. And we said we have people coming to the store a lot that want to try really earthy, but this is really earthy, but with a really nice balance. I just think that this is like top notch if you're looking for an earthy wine. It's really good.
Great. And I know that y'all have Rockin' Côte de Rhônes. This one is actually like a good gateway from Côte de Rhône, right? So you have those beautiful flavors of the Rhône, the hills of Rhône, that kind of become a little bit less intense, a little less fruit, but a little bit more earth. So a really good crossover from there.
So people that have enjoyed a Côte de Rhône, they could now kind of
go into this.
Move into this.
Yeah, I think it's a great
And you said people can find this all over Nashville, and it's under $20, which is great.
Good to give to people for the holidays. Great with a lot of different foods, especially smoked foods. Some good red meats. Great pair with like holiday roast. It's just really accessible with a lot of foods. I really like it with like a truffle butter pasta. Good combination there that makes me super happy. So a lot of good pairings, hard cheeses, just delicious. So great wine to try if you've never had it before.
Oh.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, thank you for letting us try this and sharing all that
much.
information with us.
Really, really, really love it.
It's awesome.
This amazing bottle that y'all have shared with me. Why don't you talk about this a little bit, and then I'm going to drink it.
Yes, I mean that's from one of our new favorite wineries in Young Harris, Georgia.
That we went to back in October.
Yeah, it's Crane Creek Vineyards. It's a estate
family-owned vineyard.
Boutique winery, and
Peter and Jess are the winemakers there. They are so talented. The wines are extremely just clean, delicious. A lot of them tend to be a little bit lower alcohol, and we just feel like they're really trying to represent everything that they are growing out in the vineyard. They want that to just be its purest form when it comes down to being in the bottle. So this is 100% Norton grape, and you had given us some information when we talked to you about it. If you could just, what you have learned about Norton, I love what you said there.
So Norton is a really cool grape, indigenous to the southern part of the United States, kind of based in Missouri, which was the first real AVA in the U.S. And Norton stems back all the way to like 1830 or somewhere like that. So it's been around for a couple hundred years almost, and it was exploding and becoming super popular. And then Prohibition hit, and what Prohibition did was they tore out all of the Norton vines all over the South, and they replanted them with eating Concord grapes, so things that you don't generally make wine out of. And Norton sort of died for a while, but it's so hardy and easy to grow in this particular environment that we have here with the climate that it's starting to make a huge comeback. So it's growing well in Tennessee. It grows fantastic in Georgia, growing well in Mississippi, Missouri, Texas. They're even starting to plant it in a lot of places in California right now as well. And this one is delicious, and I'm so happy that you shared this with me. It is one of those Nortons that is balanced. It's definitely a fruit-forward flavor. Black fruits, black cherries, blackberries, but it also has that vanilla and cinnamon, and you mentioned bacon spice, which definitely comes through in the palate. It's not like a fruit pie in the face. It is balanced, not just like try that fruit.
Yeah.
What I tell people all the time is when you're driving around and you see a vineyard, you should pop by and say hi to them and see what they're doing, because the South isn't all about sweet wines. There's some really nice dry wines being made, and grapes like Norton and Chambourcin are really being produced well in this part of the country. So cheers to Crane Creek for making some delicious wine.
Yes, cheers to Crane Creek. And yeah, we did want to talk a little bit about the label. This is round 2 of doing all this, as we had some technical difficulties, but it's really cool. They have the Hellbender is actually a salamander that's native to Georgia. That's kind of like people don't see it a lot. It hides.
I guess it's a pretty big.
Yeah, it's really big
in size too.
But we love that Crane Creek is all about things that are like local to Georgia, and their labeling, they really tried to represent that. They recently redid a lot of their bottles, and it's all about local stuff that's happening in Georgia, which I think is just really, really, really cool. So you're getting that experience. And Jess, one of the winemakers there, Peter's wife, who is also the winemaker, she just said that she thinks that the wine should represent what is on the label of a bottle. And, we often see labels and we buy based off that, but it's really cool when what ends up being on that label matches what's on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like a person.
Yeah.
So, like, you meet somebody and you're like, oh, like it matches their heart. So that's how, we feel about wine too. And, when we met these people, we got just this experience from them. And then when we tasted their wine, we were like, them as people is what is in the wine.
Yeah.
We just got that. It was like they represented everything that was in that bottle. And a lot of hard work goes into making wine, and just we've learned so much just from winemakers, and it's just not this massive like glamorous thing. It's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of cleaning. It's crazy. And then it just comes down to people just taking a little bottle off the shelf and paying money for it. But the amount of effort it takes to put into just everything that goes into this is crazy, and it makes you really appreciate it. And after we had spent a day with them, it's really rocked our world just being around winemakers.
Oh yeah, and we experienced like in the food industry where it's farm to table, where you really taste what's going on, on the farm, and then that's kind of what's going on with their winemaking too. You can
Yeah.
really just,
It's like farm to table, but with wine.
Yeah.
You know, like they're not trying to do anything to it. They want it to just be exactly what's there, and then have that represented in the wine.
Yeah.
So
y'all just said it. I think the hallmark of a quality wine is that it tastes like the place where it's made. So when you talk about wine all over the world, you know, from regions, France, Italy, Spain, everywhere you go, they say, you know, when a wine tastes like the place that it's made, that's how you know it's a good quality wine. It tastes like a good quality wine. It tastes like a place. So I give them, you know, big props for getting out there and making fantastic wine. And you know, let's all support these people.
right. Yeah.
Cheers to that.
I did want to ask you before you go off though. Have you been here where the Shannon is from? And am I saying it correctly? Say the right way to pronounce it.
So I'm probably butchering it as well, but Chinon.
Chinon.
Yep. A lot of times the last letter in France is dropped. This one has like a little hint of that N. So I have not been to the Loire, and there's a reason for that. When we went to France, we had 2 weeks to do all of France. So I deliberately didn't go to Champagne, I didn't go to Loire, and I didn't go to Burgundy because I knew I would want to stay there forever. I wanted to go to a lot of different places. So we spent a couple of days in Paris, a couple of days in Bordeaux. We did go down to Alsace. We went all over the place. So the Loire for me is a really special place because it is my favorite region in France. But I know I'm going to need like a couple weeks just to go through all of those little villages and towns and just really experience it. And just a little history of the Loire. There's not tons of red wine that comes from the Loire. It's generally a white wine area, and you can find fantastic white wines there like Sancerre. But in areas like Chinon and in Saumur, they just make fantastic red wines from Cabernet Franc, and they're just not expensive because people don't know what they are. So buy them and drink them because they're delicious.
Yeah. Wow. That's really interesting. You kind of know a little bit about the secret about it, that like this is something good coming out of that area that's normally known for whites, which I think we've noticed. I mean, we've seen a lot from the Loire Valley that are primarily all white. So cool. That's really interesting. Well, thank you so much.
Davis, thank you so much for doing the wine swap in the shady parking lot.
Yeah.
Exactly. Handshake wine exchange, you know, we'll have to do that. And, you know, once we all can get past this COVID thing, we're drinking in the backyard and doing a cheers in person.